I think the expression of the love in whatever manner you will love in should be done. Me personally, I'm not a fan of public displays of affection, whether it's heterosexual or homosexual. I look away. I don't care who it is. Even if it's someone that I would find attractive, I'm not doing one of these. No, I'm just looking away, right? I mind my own business. But if I wanted to do it, I should be allowed to do it without, obviously, there's going to be people, whether if I'm doing that with another woman, another man, or another whatever, there's always going to be people who's going to look, who's going to be, okay, that's okay. There's going to be people who's going to look and be like, they shouldn't be really doing that. That's fine,
Hmm.
right? I think the issue that I have, and the issue I guess that so many people from the community you associate with has, is that you shouldn't be attacking people,
Yeah.
right? And that's where the line is. And I think and I agree with you, and I also think we are on the path to hopefully coming out of our infancy, because there's so much going on there's so much in the world there's so many things in the world that's going on that we don't need to worry about. We don't need to worry about if two women are kissing, if two men are kissing, or a man and a woman is kissing,
Hmm.
right? I always tell my friends, when I have these types of conversations, I was like, you should only worry about your bedroom, don't worry about someone else's bedroom.
Exactly.
Right? The only time you should be worried about someone else's bedroom if you created that person, your daughter, your son, or a thing like that. Because if you're going to be so worried about someone else's bedroom, then the question should be, why?
Yeah.
Do you want to enter that person's bedroom? Because then there has to be a curiosity, right? And yes,
Exactly.
you can poke fun and make jokes about it and try to make it lighthearted, but what goes on in my bedroom is my business. What goes on in your bedroom is your business. And
Yeah.
with that said, and with that very nice depiction of what is going on, not only with yourself but within the LGBTQ plus community, um, where do you think we can go now, looking in towards the future? Like, how can a heterosexual man and a bisexual lady come together and join forces to move the next generation forward?
I think empathy is the biggest thing as far as like moving forward, because a lot of people like try to dehumanize others who they simply just don't agree with. There's a lot of dehumanization happening, um, which is really sad because it's like, you know, somebody who's like a Republican may dehumanize a liberal, or like vice versa, a liberal dehumanize like a Republican, or somebody of like a different like sexual orientations, different religions, like different backgrounds. Like as far as like our own biases about those people, it causes us to dehumanize people, which is super sad because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their story is. You don't know why they believe what they believe. But if somebody were to come and ask you questions about what you believe, and like let's say they're actually interested in it, it's kind of an ego boost for you because you're thinking like, oh, they're trying to come over to this side, they're trying to come over and like, explore Christianity, explore bisexuality, explore whatever, and so at that point you want people to listen to you, but you don't want to listen to others. And so as far as like reaching out and hearing stories like this conversation and like hearing, people out, doesn't necessarily mean you have to change your position. It doesn't mean that you have to completely switch to their side, but it just means that you're actually willing to agree to disagree. And even if you both agree and you both come to a consent and like a common like thoughts, that's just like, okay, you feel this way, I feel this way as well. Like I'm glad that we had this conversation because I had no idea like we seem so different, but it turns out we have a lot of these similarities, that I would have never thought I'd have with somebody who is this or somebody who is that. And so I think people getting out of their heads and getting out of their egos a bit and actually reaching out to people, um, and hearing them out and trying to empathize. And a lot of people think that empathy equals endorsement. And that's simply not the case, you know. I may reach out to somebody who maybe I don't agree with 100% because let's say let's say I am more anti cancel culture and they're pro cancel culture. I could dehumanize them and I could say, hey, you know, you're just like trying to shame people. You're just trying to like, say horrible things. You're just trying to like have an excuse to say bad things about them. And like, you're just trying to make them out to be a horrible person. And they can look at me and be like, oh, well, you're just trying to get people off. You're just trying to make it seem as though nobody's doing anything wrong and you're not trying to hold people accountable. But that's our own assumptions about the other side, you know? If we actually reach out and be like, hey, I want to understand why you think this way because I'm not really understanding, but I would like to because it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around the idea that you wouldn't want to hold these men accountable or that you would want to shame a bunch of people and tell other people that you have to unsubscribe from this person's channel, you have to get their music off of iTunes, whatever, and so and then like I'm saying this because I saw a video about this like it was like pro cancel culture, anti cancel culture, come together, see if I can find middle ground. But yeah, like I just saw a video about this, and the conversation was really great. And that's what we need. That was just one video. That's really what we need as far as like empathy and truly reaching out to people who we don't agree with. That's how we're going to move forward, because empathy is whenever all of the dehumanization kind of goes. Because for me, I kind of had an issue with dehumanization and not empathizing with people for a long time. And it was hard for me to see other people's point of views because I was still in that like Western evangelical mindset of like, oh, the Lord loves us. And if you don't repent, then you go into hell. So you better either turn or burn, like I was still in that mindset of like, oh, oof, homegirl, you're going to hell. Sorry. You better come over here before you burn. Like I was still in that mindset. Like I had no compassion